Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and for letting me read for you and for listening to my channel and yeah, just being a part of it. So thank you. This reading is titled Anxiety, Trouble Sleeping. Yeah, are you just being plagued with thoughts before you go to bed? Are you feeling particularly anxious? So yeah, hopefully this reading can help and shed some insight or just give you some food for thought, something to lighten the load a little bit. It should be interesting. And somehow all these readings have a way of getting into something to do with like relationships or career or some piece of you that needs focus or attention and yeah, a little more insight there. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. We have 4 crystal cards, which I'm going to zoom in on. And yeah, pick your favorite card. It's, I don't know why these all made me think of like sleeping or dream states. This one's literally white and fluffy, but they have I don't know, maybe the fact that they're like devoid of color makes them seem like something you'd think of before you go to bed. Really not the point. It's just about finding the card that jumps out at you, and that's your reading. There's going to be a timestamp below, and you're going to jump to it, and hopefully this helps. So thank you so much. Also, I will throw it out here now while I have your attention that I am working to get subscribed at, or pardon me, to get monetized, and I will need 1,000 subscribers to do so. And I think I'm at 89 right now, so I gained one since my last reading, which is, believe it or not, incredibly exciting. So yes, I'm asking for subscribers, thumbs up, likes, comments, anything. So yeah, I hope to hear from you, and I hope you enjoy your reading. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you for being here and listening to my channel. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading for anxiety. Is anxiety keeping you up? Are you having trouble sleeping? And yeah, this will be, I haven't done a reading like this, so we're gonna check it out and see what comes of it. But just to start, this crystal card is like a cloud. There's something about it I deeply associate with, and this is magnesite, which sounds like something from a chemistry class. But yeah, this is your pile, this is your card. You liked this for some reason. Actually, it looks like a tooth. Anyway, okay, I picked an oracle card and I picked a rune card. Your oracle card is loneliness, and so this could go either way. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I don't want to say that you're, having trouble sleeping because you're lonely. That's too much of a direct connection to this word. So I'm going to let this sit here and come back to this and see if there's any connection here. But then this is Anzu's for the rune card. And this is basically a card about divine communication. It implies that you need to pay close attention to messages and advice that's offered to you, but it's about listening a little bit to external words of wisdom, but also really listening to that voice within, and forming your own opinions. And I don't know, I think this, to me, the message here is either you've gotten a true pearl of wisdom from someone and you're like really kind of struggling with that input or that advice. Maybe it conflicts with something you should be doing. And there's a conflict there, and I don't know, but it looks like you're, to me, just taking the loneliness factor out of this. I would get the feeling that something to do with advice, just a tough decision. And yeah, do you like go with your gut? Do you go with your heart? Do you go with external input? Do you go with like what some rule book or direction book says? Like what do you do here? And yeah, let's see a little bit more about your dilemma. So I've got some oracle cards that I already selected for your pile, and I'm going to turn those over just to get a bigger picture of things, and then we're going to get into some tarot. So the oracle card, listen, and that is, that could be pretty appropriate for this. We've got courage and disruption. So these, going on the theme that I think you're battling with there's a dilemma. And going to the rune card, looking at listen, it's almost, I feel like you want to go with your own intuition. You want to go with your own gut. You want to go with what you think is going to serve you best. And maybe there's this external piece that you feel you need to listen to. I think a lot of this is having the courage to either step out, to speak up that you do want to go your own way, or that you do want to. I just think the courage here is in basically telling someone else, like, I appreciate your input, I appreciate your thoughts on this, but I really, I want to listen to myself. I want to listen to my own inner voice, and I don't and I don't know if the loneliness piece is, maybe this is like the end of it, where there's this kind of like fear that if you do this, you'll be isolated, you'll cut someone out, and you'll feel, like they won't want to share things with you anymore. They won't want to give you advice. Maybe this is a family member that you really do need around and you value and you love deeply, but and you're afraid that they would almost like punish you in a way for this. But yeah, to me, this is a card of doing something out of it's not something you do regularly. I think you're probably very accustomed to listening or taking advice from this one person or this one kind of group or like entity in a way, meaning like the church or school or counselor or something, and you're really going to go with your gut on this. And I do think this is disruptive. I do think it makes you really feel all sorts of things. I think some of it is exciting and uplifting, and you can feel like very much at calm, but then there's that fear of like, what if? So yes, I do think you're plagued with, and this is twofold, because obviously there's a decision you have to make. Obviously there's, door one or door two, or maybe there's 15 doors, who knows, but there's at least like two options. So you have the root problem, and then you have the issue of like, who am I going to offend? What toes am I going to step on? Where does this go if I choose this or if I choose this? So this is what I'm getting from maybe this thing that's keeping you up. So yeah, if this doesn't at all resonate with you, then there's probably another pile. I would say try another pile, but let's see where we go with this, and let's see if we do get a read on this. So okay, I'm going to turn over some tarot to just kind of see your situation in 3 cards and try to gauge a little bit about like where you're at right now, given what we just talked about. So okay. So these cards can tell one story in particular jumps out at me, and it's hard. Like the Lovers is always, it can be a card of obviously connections, love, relationships, but it's also at its root very much a card of choice, and it's that I think to me it represents consequences. Like if you do this, there's the consequence. Like this brings this and this brings this. So this decision, it is heavily rooted in consequence, and I do think this is something that you've worked very hard at. I think this is something, the outcome or the issue in general is something that you hold close to your heart. It's not it's a big deal to you. It probably has to do with your family or your home life, something that's very like a grounding. It's part of what stabilizes you. It's part of your whole world. I think this is something very deeply connected to you. So not to like over trivialize it, but in other words, I don't think this is a decision about like what vacation to go on, or something like that. It might be like who to go on vacation with. Maybe you've got family to go on vacation with, or maybe you've got a partner to go on vacation with, and like that could be a tough decision, and it could involve a lot of the outcome. They could go cutting out one option would produce one consequence. So like it could be something like that. It could be something to do with like raising children or where to live, or I don't know. There's just, it's some decision that you want to make on your own, and others want to give their input, and you value others' opinions, but really you feel like this is your choice to make. Yeah, and like I said, we do think it's close to home. We think it's something that you're not only are you passionate about it, I wouldn't go so far as to be like you're passionate about it in that like it's your baby, like your creative baby or anything like that. I think it's just it's your world, it's your life. There's a lot at stake here. There's a lot. This decision will affect a lot in your day to day. So yeah, it's a big deal. And the 5 of Swords here is already, I would say that there's been not necessarily deceit, but you can glimpse how this could get ugly. This could get nasty. There could you know, people's claws can start to come out. There's going to be, I think either way, you either appease someone and that's great, and then you suffer from, you know, feeling like you didn't go with your gut, or vice versa. You do what you need to do, and then someone else, you know, might feel hurt, or they might be angry, or you know what, they might just totally get over it, and this is you kind of setting a new path. This is your courageous new direction of, I don't know, maybe it's not really being so concerned with what other people think, or maybe this is you finally laying the groundwork and digging your heels in and saying, like, look, this is my life. I've worked hard to get here. These are my decisions. This is my family. This is my home. This is my life path, whatever it is. But yeah, I really do think this is about you taking those steps, and there's probably going to be an element of confrontation here. This is probably going to feel possibly combative, and yeah, I get how this could keep someone up at night, and I think everyone's been here. And I do think the ultimate fear is isolating yourself and being cut off from, you know, anyway, yeah, you get the idea. Okay, so I want to see, I want to get some insight from Spirit about this dynamic that you're struggling with. Like, let's get her insight. Let's get some advice from her and see what she has to say about this. So we've got, this is getting a little tricky to see. We've got the Four of Swords, we've got the Seven of Wands, and the Innocence of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. So, the Four of Swords is it's like a rest. It's a rest card. It's time to meditate, time to think on something, time to kind of quiet your mind. It can be a time of, you know, sleeping off an illness or a fever. Like, it's very much that you're in your thoughts, you're resting, and you're healing yourself at your mind's level. So it's like a reset button. There's a lot here, and I really do feel like for Spirit, this is saying you need to start thinking about things differently. I think you need to start putting yourself first. You really need to start thinking about what exactly do you want. And this comes through with the Page of Wands. This is that, like, what's feeding your inspiration? Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? What's your outcome? Like, this really is your world. And again, the Seven of Wands, like, you may feel like you're being backed up against a ledge or in a corner or pigeonholed in some way, but like, you really, the action you take now is going to determine, it's going to determine a lot. It's not to be like, oh, it's such a big deal, but I get the feeling that you either standing up for yourself right now, you, like, you know, laying down the law right now, or saying we're not going to do things the way we did, whatever it is, this is an important move for you. And I can't say if the outcome of this, although I'm going to ask what the outcome is, but in general, it's just not my vibe to say here's exactly how I think this is going to play out. But I do think that no matter what, this is going to be good for you. And I think this is causing, we can go back to the disruption piece here, because it's going to ask you to tap into a lot of, it's going to be tumultuous, and it's going to ask a lot of you, and you're going to have to pull a lot of energy, a lot of, like, physical resources to put this together and to make this happen and to stand up for yourself or to stop these patterns. But I do think it's important. And I do think this is like where are you going from here? What do you want for yourself? What do you want from this relationship, this dynamic, this family unit, this whatever it is? It's time for you to make that change and speak up for yourself. So that is the message I'm seeing here. I have 3 more cards, and I'm going to go with that. Oh, 4, excuse me. And we're going to ask Spirit, I'm going to say, what does she see? Like, let's say you do the thing that scares you right now. You summon your courage and you speak up. You you take your own advice. Let's put it that way. What are we looking at? Like, what is this going to look like for you? And we've got the Fool, which is actually a great card. We have the 5 of Cups. We have the Tower, and then I'm going to put Death here. So this is, the Death part is not about death. Like, I just putting this down, and then the Tower. These are actually very, very much new beginnings, in so many ways. So, and I actually just got excited because there are times where I can see the big picture in a reading. I like my readings. I feel connected when I'm doing them, but it might not always come through. And then sometimes things really click. And whether you're, still watching this and you feel that as well, to me, this is one of those moments where things just clicked, because this is asking, like, what's it going to look like for you if you do this? This is 100% like, well, right here, the caption is new beginnings, but that is the Fool. That is setting off on new adventures. This is kind of like, it's a new beginning for you. It's a fresh start. It's like, it's a new book. And it's almost like you get to write the script from here. It's your opportunity to be like, this is how I want things to play out. This is what I want. And so we turned over 4 cards and they all speak so much to this. So the 5 of Cups, it's a sad little card. It doesn't look like it. It's just 5 cups on a pink card here. It doesn't look like anything. But in general, going back to the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is a card of you've lost something. It's not, there is a consequence. No matter what, there's going to be a consequence. And I do see that, like, with the Lovers card that came up. And sure, there is going to be a consequence. There are going to be the Tower. I think there's going to be this completely, like, new revolution for you. I don't know if either one of those words are totally accurate, but there's going to be not just a fresh start, like, oh, so I'm trying to think of something that's like kind of funny, but like, we don't do family dinners on Tuesdays anymore. We now do them on Thursdays. Like, it's not just going to be like that. It's going to be like, okay, so now are we not only not doing family dinners on Tuesdays, we're doing them once a month. We're going out to dinner now. We're going to take turns paying, and the kids are only going to show up if they want to. Like, there's so many terms here that are going to change, and I really believe it's your terms. It is 100%. Things are going to be your terms, and the Death and the Tower are like, in a very exciting way, although I'm treading cautiously because I feel like these cards do carry a weight that I almost think intimidates people, but they're positive cards to me. I love these cards because I personally love change. I see the positive side of change. And when I see these cards, I think like, it is new beginnings for you 100 times over. So not only do you get to now be like your own bad bitch, your own queen, there is a bad bitch energy to this too, because you want to step into that. It's like you forgot that you had that in you, or you let someone else, I don't know, take it from you or whatever. Like, it's your time now, and you are going to get the courage. You're not going to feel conflicted or this like chaos in your brain anymore. Like, you're just going to step up and do it. And you're going to do this with such like decisiveness and such a commitment to it, that I think in the Death card, I think you're going to get respect. I think there's going to be kind of this like rebirth from these, whoever you're dealing with in this. It could be a group of people, it could be one person, I don't know, but I honestly think it's like they're going to see you in a different way, and you're going to see them in a different way. And this really is going to lead to I have to say it's going to lead to a positive outcome, because to me, the message here is, yes, this is what you should do. You should, like, go with your heart, go with your gut, go with your instinct, lead yourself, listen to yourself, like, find your happy place or what you think is going to put you at ease, and just go with it. And it is going to, again, it's going to take courage. I just go back to those Oracle cards that are like backing up the fact that it's, not going to be easy or whatever. It's going to take something. But if this is, if you're kept up at night with this question, then this would absolutely speak to that. So I am going to end the reading here because I think it's a very good place to end it. I think this message is clear and concise, but I almost want to get like one card to be like, look, everything's going to be great, and here's why. Like, I'm going to get you in a card once you do this, and once you kind of like go your way, and just put down this new set of rules. Like, you're writing a new rule book for how you're going to conduct yourself, how people are going to talk to you, how they're going to regard you, whatever it is you want. And here's you once you've done this, or once you start doing this. So not only are you going to be sleeping better and more, because I think if this is plaguing you, it's going to be a really nice piece to kind of like put a lid on. But here you are, and we've got groundedness and gravity. Yeah, I was hoping for the card of someone like fast asleep, but this person actually does look like they're peacefully sleeping. They really do look like they're just, I mean, I would say in this card, this person is attracting everything good that they want. Groundedness. What do we say? I mean, what to say for this card? It's a good card. I can't connect it exactly to what this means for, but it's a completely positive message. And if I just look at this card, I feel like this person is like a little sleeping beauty. So do I want to cut out the last part of the reading where I pulled this card because I can't totally associate it? Yes, I'm not going to know. I'm going to leave it here because it is a positive message all the same. And I stand by like all the other like congruent messages within this reading. So I hope you enjoy it. But on this card, I'll just go back to it for 1 second. The number is 39 and it's gravity, groundedness. So maybe some part of that speaks to you in whatever your conundrum is. So, or not, that's fine too. But either way, please like, subscribe, comment. I would love to hear what you have to say, and I would love to get a like or subscribe if you feel like that's something you want to do. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my channel. I appreciate it very much. This is a reading asking if you have anxiety. Is this keeping you up at night? Do you have trouble sleeping? Maybe there's a problem we can shed light on. So yes, the last pile 1, I found it to be pretty insightful. So I hope this is the same. Okay, let's get into it. We have forgiveness. This is the message, and it says healing comes from acceptance, and it goes on to say a little bit more, but I like this. Okay, wait, let's get into your crystal card. This is really an aesthetic, but tourmalinated quartz. It says it fights negative energy, and I don't know, it looks like it's got the sushi wrapping on it, which, yeah, very, very cool card. But yeah, this is your pile. Whatever we have to say about that crystal card, this is your pile. Okay, your rune card was interesting. This is Hagalaz, and this is basically about like chaos, disruption, sort of this storm that you're forced to weather, and it really is about things outside of your control, things that are completely unexpected, and as a result, these things kind of they give you a different perspective. And then it also says there's the part on here about like if you can be patient and stay detached and remain calm, you will weather the storm, and you may just find that the unwanted shakeup has given you an unexpected and liberating perspective, insight, and direction. And that to me comes with the forgiveness piece. So to put like a theme on this reading or what is troubling you, I do think it has something to do with forgiveness. I think something happened that was probably out of the control of both parties, of you, of whoever this person was or persons, but I think an event took place that really you just have to accept it happened, and whatever the ramifications, you're not to be like, you're not going to ever sleep again until you forgive. I don't want to say that, but I feel like there's this part of letting go, and this to me could just as easily be forgiving yourself, forgiving others, forgiving outcomes, forgiving anything. But I do think there's this out of control piece to it that maybe you just have to acknowledge that this was out of everyone's hands, or that it didn't turn out the way anyone wanted. I don't know, there's just this chaos piece, and it's almost like you would have to be the bigger person and just forgive. Okay, so let me turn over a couple other cards to try to understand this whole thing. I'm going to go with this home in the sky. We've got happiness and simplicity. Okay. Definitely a message here of like, absolutely a message, I think, of letting things go, so the simplicity piece to me, okay, there's like this, the more simple we can keep things, the easier, I feel like the easier it is to be happy. You know, like the more the more details we put on something, the more feeling and emotion we give to like everything that happened and why, just the more complicated it gets and the more room there is for analysis and data. And it's like sometimes it's just easier to say, you know, it was a really shitty thing and it happened. And maybe that person is a POS. Maybe they did want that. Maybe they wanted this outcome. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they're just as like gobsmacked as you are. Maybe they, I don't know. I just think there's this like taking out all the chaos and the static around this and just forgiving. I really think this will bring you happiness. I think this will bring you peace. There's such a message here of like, you will feel safe, you will feel grounded, you will feel calm. This is like a boozy little smile on this card, and I like the message here. So if any of this is speaking to you, if you went through, you weathered some kind of shitstorm, and to what degree, I have no idea, but it makes me feel like you can find your little pie in the sky. You can find your happy place. You can be carried away. You can be uplifted. You can feel at home again in your own skin and safe and happy if you can just forgive somehow. And with that, there is this kind of like letting go. And it is, you know, I do like making connections in the cards. And I do see the feather here and I see the birds. And I do feel like there is this piece of like, if you just let this go, if you just put wings on it, if you set it free, if you just let it fly away and let it leave your world, your life, your thoughts, you really might feel very, very uplifted by this. And yeah, it's not, I'm sure that's not an easy thing to do. I think forgiving is one of the hardest things, but yeah, I'm going to carry on with this reading. And if this speaks to you at all, then please stay tuned because I'm going to make that the theme of how we can help you let go or forgive, or I don't know. And there might be something in here. Just, I'm not going to try to predict what went wrong or why or anything like that, but it's going to help you process these feelings. And maybe there'll be something in here to help move on with forgiving this person or this event or this thing that happened. And okay, so I want to see you right now in 3 cards. Like, what's your energy? What are you dealing with? What are you feeling? So we have strength, which is good. We have the Ace of Swords, and we have the World. Okay, so I see, and this is really positive, and I like this. This line was very positive in the last reading too. It tells me that you are like you're actively working towards this. I don't think this is continuing to consume you. It might still be keeping you up at night because you haven't maybe, you know, let's say you have to forget. Maybe you haven't fully done that yet. Maybe the last piece is that you forgive yourself. Maybe you've forgiven these other people and now it's just left to forgive yourself. And what that even means, honestly, I don't know, but I know it's a thing. And I know there are things that I still have to forgive myself for and just let go of and stop dwelling on. And I think that's when you get in that like hamster wheel effect, because you just think about like, if I would have done this differently and all that. But this right here is like, you are trying to change your thoughts about this. I think you're really working towards trying to see a new perspective on this. You're trying to get clarity. You're trying to like understand it and work it and make it work for everyone. I really think you're trying to take a very positive, like clear-headed approach to this. Even with the strength, you may still, I don't want to say you're still trying to control someone, but you might still be trying to control an outcome, or you might still be like pushing a perspective that's yours or like an objective that's yours. So you might still be doing that, but I don't think you're doing it in a way that's like you know, like ugly or rude or hostile or anything. I think but you're still doing it. I think it's still an energy you're projecting. However, you are making this very conscious effort to move past this. And there's like a gentle persuasion to this strength card. This isn't like you're strong arming someone. This isn't like you're trying to control anyone or you're, you know, sending 15 texts a day. This is I, I think it's like a precursor to like letting go. And I do, yeah. And then you've got your mind here, which is starting to go on a new path. And the World, I really think you've probably wanted to move on from this. You probably glimpsed like, look, if I do forgive, if I do let this go, if I do stop dwelling on this, whatever it is that you really need to do, I think you've thought like, wow, this is really gonna this is gonna positively affect my whole world and that of everyone around me. Whoever, in other words, you know that this is a bigger deal than just, oh, I can't sleep at night. This is starting to be like kind of an all-consuming thing, or it's taken over other parts of your world. Maybe you're starting to think about this little issue when other problems come up, and you're starting to connect the two when really they have no connection. But you don't want this to get so big that it just kind of defines or overtakes like every thought or problem you have. But I do think you know that, and you really, really are trying to get a handle or a grip on this. So yeah, without getting too crazy down that path, let's ask spirit for some advice. Like what is spirit, what's her advice to you on this? Let's ask her directly for that and see what she has to say. So we have 8 of Wands, 7 of Cups, and 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so just thinking of this. I almost feel like, to me, there's a message here of like, let's say you did reach out to this person and say, I forgive you. Or say, I mean, I don't know that you need to apologize. But let's say you reached out and did like the big step here. What would you hope to achieve from that? Like, what would be your best possible outcome? I think that there's this message here to just kind of think what you want out of this. What would be the best possible scenario? Would it be that you guys like say something, part ways, and you never deal with this person again? Would it mean that like you become friends or close again, you're back in each other's circles, trusted situation, or like trusting each other again? I'm not sure, but whatever that is, think about what you want. And I almost get this, there's the message of communication here, of actively doing something or actively saying something. This could also be seen as this person's going to reach out to you, but I don't get the message. I'm not getting that message. I'm saying this card could be interpreted that way, but my message is that you actually have to do something. This is you, like, in good faith, making some kind of like peace offering. That probably would be in the form of a message. It could be a text, it could be a call, it could be something kind. And really, you're going to be inspired to do this because you want this behind you. You don't want this to keep you up anymore. You don't want this to turn into like a bigger deal than it is. And that's another feeling that I'm getting, that this is getting blown out of proportion. Also possibly a message with the World card here. Like, this is now, like I said, it's creeping into other little facets that it really has no place being in. So I want you to I really want you to nip this in the bud. I think you are someone, I think you are a happy person. I think you're a kind person. And I do think you can find peace and simplicity. I really think somehow this got away with you, and it's just become all consuming. But if you really think of the outcome you want here, and maybe you make the first step to do it, and you go about it right, you think on it, you think exactly how you want to do it, I actually think it would be a good thing to do. So and you know what, maybe it's asking a question like, how are you feeling about this? Do you want to meet? Do you want to talk? Like, I'd like to hear you out. I'm ready to hear your side. Like something like that. But it is like a very in good faith communication and effort made on your part. So maybe not the easiest message because reaching out to someone that you have a history with in this way takes a lot, but I guarantee the person on the receiving end never sees it the way you think they're going to. They're just happy to get the message. They're not thinking like, oh, this person's weak, or look at them just roll over. Like, they don't think that. They just think like, yep, that was great. They reached out to me. So, okay. And I really feel strong. I think about that in my own life a lot. Like, what if I just did the thing that this other person wants? Are they gonna, like, I might feel like I might feel like, not weak, but a certain way about it, but they're never going to feel that way. They're just going to be happy that it worked out their way, and that's the end of it. They're not like, anyway, so that's just my own input. Okay, that wasn't spirit's input, that was mine. Okay, let's I want to see what it'll look like for you if you do this. If you follow this advice, if you take this to heart and you start to, extend like an olive branch or some kind of communication, you're already starting to get your mind right. I do think you're going to start like slowing down your thoughts. You're not going to be in a rage or a tizzy over this. You're going to like just really like boil it down to the nitty gritty and get rid of all the other shit that doesn't belong. What's this look like for you? What's your near future? What do these, like, we want an end to these sleepless nights or the mind spinning hamster wheel before you go to bed. So what are you in store for? Okay. And we have, it is funny when cards do this because I almost like, I can't make it up. So we have two, because I pulled from nine different tarot decks. And we have two of the 10 of Swords. And I want to tell you, I've actually just been researching how the 10 of Swords, I think it has a different meaning here. And I'm really going to go with that. To me, the 10 of Swords, well, okay, in general, it's defeat. It's this end. It's kind of like the death of an event, the death of a thought, the end of a chapter, but it's supposed to carry this like weight to it. So I don't, it always looks like a very daunting card because they always put swords in like something that was living. But in a way, swords are your thoughts. And it's like you are going to extinguish this thing that's plaguing you, this mind fuck that you're dealing with. Like it's done. And as a result of that, you're going to start, like we can call one of these 10 of Swords cards as like this whole thing, this chapter, this craziness, it's done. Like this is what you can now look forward to if you take the advice given prior. And also I think your mind is going to start understanding, it's like that highest level of thought, let's say. It's like you're going to really learn from this. It's going to be a very positive thing for you. You're going to get a lot out of this. You're going to learn from this. You're going to like absorb wisdom and knowledge from this. This is you like getting, it's like injecting a self-help book into your veins. Like it is going to be this very much, oh my God, I got so much from following this heart, or from like just following my heart and doing something that was so hard and so challenging. So yeah, I really see like just an end to the chaos and a new chapter for you, because this is the end of it. Then you've got something new to worry about. But like this is going to be put to rest. Yeah, these thoughts are going to be put to rest. And you know what? Amazing. What does that mean to me? It means you're going to be sleeping, and that's what brought you here. We've got the 7 of Swords, which is a funny little card. It's this like, to me, this is like a sly little fox card. There's this little bit of like if villains were fun and exciting and the person you wanted to hang around, this is like the fun villain. So the mindset here is almost like, what I get out of this card is you're almost going to be tricking this person because you're going to be taking the high road. You're going to be reaching out to them. And it's almost like you're going to have them in the palm of your hand as a result of this. And they might, they might feel like, okay, well, I wasn't the one that apologized. You apologized first. But you know what? Like, you did it just to put an end to this. Like, you really are the, like, you're the master behind this. You're the mastermind. You're literally, like, securing an outcome because you are the one making the first move, and you literally know if you make the first move, this is what the ending is going to look like. Here's what I'm in store for. All I have to do is say this, reach out and do this, and you know what? Who cares what they think of me? And they're not going to think anything of you one way or the other. I guarantee it. They're just going to be so happy that you did that. It's not even going to matter. But I guess my point is you're really truly going to be the mastermind behind it. So and it's a funny way of thinking of like apologizing or making the first step, because really it is you being the bigger person, but it's also, it's your game now in a way, and it's your game board, it's your chess move, whatever, however you want to look at it. That's what I get out of the 7 of Cacti. So This is also just slightly empowering in a fun way that you know, like you are in control here. But really, this is about kindness and forgiveness. And I really, you want this, you need this. We don't want this to turn into like something that it never ever needed to come anywhere close to. Yeah, this is your world, and I think you're going to be very happy once you instill this. And guess what? You're going to start sleeping. So, good, great. I hope you're happy. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe, like, comment. I would love to get all three from you, or you can just pick one. But yeah, it would mean everything. So I hope to see you again, and thank you so much. Goodbye, Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my channel. We are doing a reading for anxiety. Is this keeping you up at night? Are you having trouble sleeping? Yes, and I will say, if this topic doesn't like knock your socks off, the readings before you, this is pile 3, were pretty solid. I know when I do, some readings are better than others, but they were pretty good. So yeah, I hope this makes you feel something, and I hope it leads to you having relief and being able to sleep at night, because I get the hamster wheel. It's a very real thing. So okay, and I'm trying to get monetized, so if you would subscribe, comment, like, anything you would do to interact with my channel would be very helpful. Very much appreciated. Not just helpful isn't even the right word. It would be incredibly appreciated. Okay, we have taken an oracle card, a rune card. Your oracle card, it says make it God's. We can replace God with spirit, with peace, with whatever. But the message under this is take the my out of your sentences and replace it with ours or that, or like, so their example is like my money, my relationship, my job. It can be our money, our relationship, our job, the relationship. Like, just kind of, to me, this is a message to either not hold so tightly to something, like there's something you need to release and set it free, or it has something to do with a relationship, like really, but, and I say that because this card to me is very much a card of sharing. So let's go to this rune card, and I pull from my booklet because runes are very detailed. This is Hagawa. Oh my goodness, this is not Hagawa's. That's the one I just did. This is Ingwa's. And this is very much linked to sexuality and fertility. It's a sign of passion in a relationship, or a time of tremendous creativity in work and business. It has a lot to do with new beginnings, and a lot to do with like, just, it says magical possibilities, bringing the promise of peace, relief, happiness, and inner growth. I really think there's this reading has something to do, there's a relationship piece to this, and something about taking the my or I out of a context and opening it up to be a little more open to everyone, something to do with sharing, something to do with like letting someone else in and starting to share your space with someone. I really think this has to do with the relationship. So your crystal card, I'm not horrible with crystal cards. I'm kind of horrible with crystal cards. I love the way they look. This is bright, and I've already read from one card, so I'll keep it to just one. But I mean, it looks like dried salt. It is. These cards are so beautiful. But there you go. There's your crystal card. Okay, I have some oracle cards. I'm going to pull these over, and then we're going to get into your reading with tarot. But my gut tells me this thing that's keeping you up, and this would be the first pile where I would say maybe you didn't even exactly realize, like, we're able to put your finger on the root of the problem. But I do think this has to do with sharing something, or with like kind of joining forces with someone, creating, maybe like taking your relationship to the next level, or maybe you really want this from someone else, like you're kind of craving this this connection piece. I'm not sure. We're going to get a little bit more to fine tune it. So there's ever so slight of a question here, but let's see what this is. So we've got intuition. Okay. We've got security. Wow, this is red garden. Okay, so to me, these 3 cards have a lot to do with this, the theme of like a relationship. This to me has a lot to do with passion, like a lot to do with the like physical, the sensuality piece, even like maybe a sexual component. Security, like this is, where do you feel safe? Where do you want to lay your head? Who is your person? Is this the dynamic you want to be in forever? And what is your kind of your gut, your intuition? How do you feel? There's a there's a connection piece here. And I think you're trying to navigate a relationship. And I want to make it deeper than that because these readings to me like this, what's keeping you up, what's making you anxious. I feel like there's something more at the core of it. Like it's not just like, oh, do they love you? Is this your right person? Like there's more to it than that. There's a deeper thing here. And I almost feel like it's like you have a gut, there's something in your gut about this dynamic. And truly, it could be that you really think this is your person. Or it could be that maybe your dynamic is a little surface and it's just physical. Or maybe, or maybe you feel like this is, again, you feel a sense of safety with this person. You feel a sense of calm. You feel like you can really open up. There's something about I want to take this in the direction of like you're ready to share your life with someone. You're ready to stop saying I. You're ready to start saying we or us or the, but it's going to refer to not just you. And I think you do feel like you've met someone that you could do this with. Or maybe you're longing for someone to do this with. So I hate to have the vague pieces here, but we're going to get into this because it's okay if it's a little bit vague. This is a general reading, and I really think by the end of it, we're going to have something to help you get off this hamster wheel and be able to sleep. So I want to ask Spirit to see you right now and help get some insight of who you are, where you're at. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles. We have Justice, and we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles is like, it doesn't denote lack at all. I think if anything, it means you have a lot, just generally speaking, that you would be stingy and you're holding tight, but it's like this holding tight to something. The Nine of Pentacles backs it up to me that no, there isn't a lack here, but there is almost like a blockage. There isn't quite the movement that you want, that this card denotes, this like free flowing love, this kindness, this like interaction, this sense of safety, and just like sheer, like, oh my gosh, creativity, intuition. I feel like things aren't quite flowing for you right now. Justice, this puts something in question for me. So I don't want to take this as you questioning your relationship, but I do see this as there's a question mark on your relationship right now, and this is keeping you up. And I think part of the question is that you really, really, you're ready for something real. You really are at a place in your life where you're ready. Sometimes we really want a relationship and we know we're not ready, so we're not going to like trip off the person that we're with or aren't with because we're like, it's not the right time. But I do feel like for you, there's this time. You really want this, you feel it. And I do think you found someone, whether they're laying next to you in bed at night or not. I think that there's someone on your mind every night that you're like, I want to make this my person. But I don't think there's a lot happening with this person right now. The potential is there, but there's this something is being blocked. Okay, I want to get, because this is ever so slightly vague, but look, if you landed on this pile, and this tracks in the sense that when you are being kept up at night, it does have to do with a relationship piece and wanting something and not knowing if you're going to get it from this person. That really is a completely different message than the last two readings. So yeah, this is so far the first reading that has anything to even do with a relationship. So yeah, there's something to that, in other words. So let's ask some more questions and let's see this through. I'm gonna ask if Spirit has a message for you. What would be Spirit's input to you right now? Let's see that, and this might help things. Okay, Ten of Swords, the Tower. Okay, and the Three of Swords. So these are three fairly harsh cards. Just Three of Swords, affairs of the heart. It classically denotes heartbreak. Ten of Swords, it is I mean, these are like swords cutting the flesh of this person in the water. It's actually a very gruesome card. But it is the card of like endings, of just like, I don't know, kind of very swift and very hard truth endings. And then we have the Tower. This is a somewhat of a crash and burn card. So taking this message, and I don't want to apologize for the message, but I do want to say I'm sorry that this is a harsh reading. But I do think what's keeping you up has something to do with probably wanting so much out of the dynamic that you're in, probably loving this person or feeling that you are in love with them or could fall in love with them, or all three of those things combined. Um, Knowing that there's potential there, but just not getting it. Like, you're not getting the justification you want out of the fact that this could be so great, but it's not there yet. You're not getting what you need. It's just things aren't quite fair, and maybe they're not even honest. Maybe there's other things that make this a not healthy ideal dynamic or relationship. But when we asked Spirit for her input, she did give a very clear message of, let this relationship end, let it go. It's affecting your heart, and I don't mean like it's gonna physically, I don't mean like heart attack, I mean like it's hurting your heart, your emotionally. This is somewhat gut wrenching for you. And if it is keeping you up at night, if you're thinking about this, and maybe you think like, oh my God, you have a connection with this person that is like nothing you've ever felt, and you do. Maybe they make you feel everything. They feel safe. You want them to be your security blanket. Like, you want these things, but your intuition, there's this little nagging in the back of your mind. And this is that, like, this is the third eye chakra. Um, if we take chakras colors into the chakras, this is that intuition. It is that, like, if you had a little bit of insight, if you were taking information in from your spirit guides, they would tell you like, look, this probably isn't the right person. So strong message here. I want to get, so this was Spirit's advice for what you should do. And it is basically saying this dynamic isn't working. This isn't healthy. Again, this is just a reading. This can be entertainment. This is not me telling you what to do. So yeah, and it's a hard message. So, take it or leave it. But I just want to put that out there, that this is just one option for you, but these are what's in the cards. Okay. But I want to ask Spirit, if you do this, if you take her advice, let's say you release this relationship, okay? Whatever that means. Maybe you completely restructure it. Maybe you give this person, I don't want to say an ultimatum, but like maybe you inspire them to change. I don't know. But let's say whatever you're doing now, your future looks completely different. And in my gut, that would be without this person in it. But however you want to see your future differently, I want to see what this looks like for you. And this should be a hopeful message here. So let's see what you have to look forward to if you take this advice, however that looks. So we have the King of Cups, which would mean you're like feeling yourself, you're in control of your emotions, you're killing it emotionally. So very positive card. Four of Wands, that's happiness, ceremony, just a beautiful coming together of friends, family, creativity, doing things, going to events. And then we have the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands is heavy. It is definitely a card of, there's a bit of it's a bit of a weight, it's a bit of a burden. So yeah, there is a very positive message here of, yes, you will be happier. I think you will feel like you're in control. You've taken charge of your life. You're in command. You are emotionally, you're doing good. You're probably feeling everything. You're feeling all the emotions you need to feel, but at least you're not locked up. You're not spinning out of control at night, because you are allowing yourself to feel and do everything, and you took charge of your life. Yeah, and the oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, the Four of Wands is, and this is like the card of they just call it the card of ceremony, but in a very lovely, beautiful way. It can mean anything from like weddings to engagements to parties to friends to events, but just very much a card of hopeful potential surrounding emotions and love and feelings. And then this is also the card like, yeah, you're gonna feel some things. There's gonna be a weight. You're going to get you're going to experience a whole range of emotion here, and it is going to be heavy at times. You're not going to do this like complete 180. You are going to feel the weight of this, but this is still very, very hopeful. I'm not going to ask what's going to happen to you if you don't break up with this person, because or end things, or, I don't think that's really necessary, but I do, although now I want to, because I said it out loud and I'm like, well, what would it look like if you didn't? But I don't know. There's some questions that I sometimes I can hear myself being like, I don't know that I'm comfortable asking that. But this is your reading, and I'm gonna end it here in a minute because the question was anxious, like what's keeping you up, and at least you are getting the insight that yes, you need to do something about your dynamic or your relationship. There's a piece of this that is eating away at you. You need to do something. So whatever you do is up to you, but just acknowledge that like this feeling of, again, I call it the hamster wheel. I've said that in every reading, and I don't think I've ever said it before tonight, but this feeling where your mind spins and it thinks of different scenarios and it goes down these different like avenues of, well, what if I did this? And what if they start acting like this? And they said this once. So, I mean, I think it means this, like, I really, it can take you places, like it can drag you out and drag you down. So I think once you start taking control of this and listening maybe to your intuition, yeah. And just seeing this card, I'm also going to use this as a positive notion with the Four of Wands here. This is like, there's love in store for you. There are beautiful things on your horizon. This is a very, I mean, the runes are tricky. There aren't that many like super exciting positive runes, but this is one of them. But I couldn't ignore the message that went along with it. But I am going to say that like I definitely see love and connection in your future. And honestly, maybe eliminating the situation you're in now is going to bring that to you. Well, of course it would, because I don't think you're going to find it when you're in your situation now. So anyway, okay, I would love to know your thoughts on this. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if this spoke to you in any way. Yeah, I'd love to hear it. So thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye. I'm Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for listening to my channel and for being here and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading for anxiety, keeping you up at night, trouble sleeping. We just want to address the main thing that's keeping you up, and we can help with that. So by we, I mean, I don't even know. I'm asking Spirit for advice. So really, Spirit is going to be trying to help with this reading. Yeah, the last 3 readings were really, each one was very unique and insightful. So I'm excited to get into this. Okay, and we have Muscovite, which I don't know why I picked this card. There's something very beautiful about it. I don't know. There's a lot going on here in a very basic kind of way. But if you know anything about me, these crystal cards are just an aesthetic piece that I find like inspiring and beautiful. But okay, so your one rune card and an oracle card that I picked to lean into this is empowerment. And there's something about the empowerment card connected to the Algiz card, the Algiz rune card. So I'm going to start with the rune card. This basically symbolizes protective forces. When you need them, this is supposed to resemble, not supposed to, it does resemble the elk's antlers. And it's basically for fighting off enemies like dark spirits, anything that helps you keep your own defenses strong, which really does come to the empowerment piece. These cards really, for me, they go very well together. I think this is a lot about following your instincts and allowing that to take you to like your personal growth, your personal input. But I think you need to step in. I think there's a part of you like, okay, so I would say that for whatever reason you feel unempowered, and this really is a card of like, look, seize your moment. And this could be like it's your time to ask for that promotion. It's your time to leave this job. It's your time to like tell your partner you've had enough of them. It's your time to like change the dynamic of your relationship. Like there's something like a power that you need to step into. So I would say what's keeping you up, if this tracks at all so far, is you aren't doing something that you need to be doing. There's something that's like, to protect yourself, there's something you need to do. And okay, we're gonna pull, I've already pulled a couple oracle cards, so I'm gonna put these down and see how we can further this narrative and go from there. So yes, let's see what we have here. So we have frustration, we have change, and my home is my castle. So, okay, because it's a beautiful story. Obviously the frustration card could, I could pull this in any reading and find a story for it. So I get that. However, you are being kept up at night. This is plain over and over. It is absolutely frustrating. And it's frustrating because you're not weak. You're not someone that gets walked all over. You have a voice. You're strong. I just feel like you're already someone who's quite empowered, and yet there's this one thing that's either has you questioning, it has you fearful, it has you, or someone is like overriding you. I feel like you really, really need, there has to be change. And this change is something that you're going to have to create this. You're literally going to have to, suit up, put your armor on and like confront someone, or there's something you have to change. And I don't know, this card is so whimsical, and there's something about this change where I don't think it's a whole new thing. So for me, the empowerment piece is like, you're either ending a relationship, you're asking someone out that you've always wanted to ask out, that you're like, supposed to be with forever, or you're leaving a job, you're starting a new business. There's like something big that you are stopping and starting. And, it is like this carousel horse, it got off its own wheel that spins indefinitely, and it's now like doing its own thing. And I kind of feel like that's your thing. Like you need to get off your own little wheel and just put change in motion. But going back to this card, I got a little bit like sidetracked because I am trying to put all this together. This has been my trickiest pile. The protection piece is interesting too, because it's almost like you haven't done this because you have been protecting yourself. And that can speak financially, that can speak romantically, that can speak, you're protecting your feelings, you're protecting an outcome. But there is definitely a sense of like self-preservation, I think is a way that I can see this. But I think now is your time. It is your time to go after your dreams, to find your place, to find your home, to do what is going to make you happy and feel stable. It's just your world. Like it's always been your world, but now let's say we have a few points in our life where it's like, okay, you need to like pick a direction and do it. You need to make a hard decision, just do it. But I feel like you're at one of those, I want to say like conjunctures or junctions in your life, where you have there's something big that you need to do. And this would absolutely keep you up at night, because maybe you're like, I don't even know what it is. What is it? Is it my relationship? Is it my job? Like, what is it I need to do? But there's a part of your world that is very like, I think it's repetitive, and I think it's kept you in this like loop that just isn't going anywhere. And maybe it served you at one time, maybe it's safe, maybe it's predictable, and maybe, it gives you all the things you need, but you absolutely, you need more. And you're starting to get frustrated. You're probably starting to get like disillusioned. You're starting to feel like, I don't know, like maybe nothing's, you need some beauty and excitement. And this is such a card of like new, beautiful beginnings. But yeah, it's going to take you really, you need to let yourself feel uncomfortable and really, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you need to be empowered. Okay. Let me see where you're at right now. We're going to ask Spirit just for a snapshot of your current situation and where you're at. So we've got the Three of Pentacles, which means you have put some work into this. You are being seen. The Knight of Pentacles and the Fool. Okay, so the Fool is always that new beginnings card. This is that stepping out for an adventure. It's not someone who's stupid or foolish, but if they're foolish in the sense that like, look at all the stuff you're leaving behind. You could have all this and you want more. It's like that kind of foolishness that like, and they don't care because they absolutely want more. It is that like, I will gamble on this because I know it's going to work out. I definitely think you're at this place. You are thinking of so many other things that you could be doing, that you should be doing. And again, this can pertain to work, relationships. There are other options and other ways of living, of doing the thing that you're doing. And this is, I think it will feel very empowering to do things differently, but I also think it's just flat out going to make you happy. And it's going to something to do with your home, your life, your home, your place. It's just going to solidify some things for you. And with the Pentacles, it is this, the Knight of Pentacles is setting out on an adventure. He is starting to figure out, he's attempting to figure out, I think, his place and what his purpose is and what's going to make him feel secure and safe, what's going to secure him a place of safety or security, like from every monetary standpoint, right? I think you are there. You are really trying to figure this out. I just get this feeling that you are very much starting to set out on this adventure. You have started putting the wheels in motion, even if it's just the wheels of thought. This is very much, this is a part of your reality right now. So maybe the thing that's keeping you up is you're almost excited. Like there might be an excitement piece to this. Like you are actually, let's say, starting to feel empowered to do this, and you're just very, very excited. But I also think there are things that need to be done that haven't been done yet. And this is also keeping you up. But you're at this weird place in your life where, like I said, you're about to make a big decision, and it's about to kind of change the trajectory of like where you're headed and how you do things and how you're seen and how you feel. I think there's going to be a lot of different outcomes here. And it's exciting. I think you've taken the safe road in a lot of ways. You've protected yourself from outcomes that maybe you saw friends go through. Maybe they, I don't know, made poor decisions in relationships or finances or anything that has to do with life being hard at times. Like you've learned from their mistakes, but now it's your time to step into it. So, and let them learn from your mistakes for a change. Like you're allowed to start making some mistakes. It would actually be probably empowering to be like, I am going to try this and I don't even care, even though that's not what I think you would say about it. But, okay. You can scratch that last part off. I don't know why I said that. Okay, let me see. I want advice from Spirit. Like what's her advice to you right now? I guess this is, what does she want to see you do? What's like a step you can start taking? This is just advice from Spirit. We have 7 of Swords, the Hermit, okay, and Harmony, which is basically temperance, which the word they're giving here is harmony. Okay, I do think this is a time of like, tell no one. This is a time of keeping your cards close, of taking advantage of the fact that you are the one with the most knowledge or the smartest person in the room or the one that has everyone else's mistakes to kind of build from. I do think this is a time of like, this isn't a time of gloating. This isn't a time of like shouting from the rooftops that you're doing this. This really is your moment. And it will also be very empowering to do this without others. Like you're not going to take the input of others. You're not going to, there's something about this. It's such a big thing that you're doing that you need to do it entirely on your own, if that makes sense. Like you don't want someone else's input on this because frankly, you don't care what they have to say. This is what you're going to do has to strike a chord with you and feel good with you on every single level, because it's going to give new shape to your whole world. So yeah, and there is something like, there's this part of me that is getting a message here that there is a secretive nature to this that will behoove you. So not necessarily sly or manipulative at all, but like, there's an observation piece. There's a not revealing too much. I don't know, and if you do kind of like hibernate for a couple weeks or a month or 2 months or whatever, while you put all these wheels in motion, that might be to your benefit. But there's this kind of holding back piece, and maybe this will help you sleep better too. Like the question isn't who do I talk to about this, whose approval do I need, what's so and so going to think of this. The answer is you're not even really going to talk to them about it. This is your decision. This is your life. This is your world. You're protecting yourself. You're really doing you on a massive scale. And I do think the frustration card here does speak to, like, you've probably been frustrated by other people's input, other people's ideas of how you should be doing things or living your life or whatever, or where you should be at this point in your life, or I don't know. Or maybe you've done amazing and you want to drop everything and like move to Croatia, you know, and like, then fine, do it, but don't ask for permission. Just do it. Okay, that's the message I'm getting. And temperance, the harmony, I think this is a lot of internal harmony, and this is you're taking care of you. You are figuring out at this point in your life exactly what you need. This is a self-preservation and a self-protection, and it is empowering. This is your power. This is your power source, your energy source, your life source. Like, you're really, really doing exactly what you need to be doing right now for you and no one else. And it's your journey. And, you know, you might have a husband, you might be in a relationship, you might have 10 kids. I don't know. It doesn't mean you're totally alone. Although I do get the feeling you might be, you know, like a lone wolf in a way. But if you're not, it doesn't mean you can still leave your job and tell your family, like, look, I've decided that I'm not going to work this job anymore. I'm going in a different direction. I'm following my passion. I'm doing this. And your family will support you. They love you. This is, you know, but you're not like, yeah, you know what I mean. You get the message. Okay, I want to see you in 3 cards. If you do this, if you start to, maybe you know what it is that you want to do, and yeah, what does it look like for you when you switch things up, when you find your, like, when you get off the rabbit wheel that you're on, literally the hamster wheel, whatever it is, like, and to me, this hamster wheel for you is like literal, figurative, and literal and figurative, in that I do think you're on a routine, you're doing something very repetitive in your world, and this is what you want to stop. It's not exciting. It's not giving you the inspiration you need. There's so much there. There's so much more for you. And if you just literally get off this wheel that you're on, it will open up a whole new world to you. And then I also think the figurative piece of that is you are spinning at night. You are thinking about this. It is becoming this repetitive thought. And again, it can be, some thoughts might be like exciting, like what would I do if I didn't have my job, or if I didn't have this one particular commitment or this one burden or whatever, like what would I do? What would that look like? And then you get excited about that, but then you're like, oh my God, but my real world, I do have it. So this is you starting to take command of your world. Okay. Okay. What's it going to look like for you? Let's see what it looks like. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Sorry, I had to think about that. For some reason that looked like 9 and I lost my mind. We have the Ace of Succulents and the Daughter of Wands. So what this looks like for you, I'm going to start with the Ace card, Ace of Cups. This is like, I think one of the verbiage given to this is like your cup runneth over. You are being flooded with endorphins. This is your absolute endorphin rush. This is you getting that hit of dopamine that just keeps on going. Like, you are going to be so inspired, so happy, so fresh, so free. There's going to be this, like, you know, this is like the card that goes with this, like just this floating in the sky. I'm so happy. It's a very, very positive card. And just in like, as a, what are you going to feel like? Where are you going to be from this? This is very cool. Daughter of Wands, you're stepping out. You are exploring you. You are doing you. You are finding your creative piece. This is like the very beginning, and not in a slightly awkward way, but it's a new beginning. It's a fresh start. And it's that unknown. There's nothing repetitive about the Daughter of Wands. She is like endless question marks and exclamation marks. Like there is, and it's action, it's doing something new, and it is feeling so alive and so inquisitive and excited and just lit up because of it. So very, very cool card about like energy and excitement. And then the Eight of Pentacles, to me, this is like a work card. Like, guess what? You're working. It's gonna pay off. You know, you get to enjoy at some point what you're doing, but it's also work. Like you're not even if this is about you dropping everything and you know, buying like a hut on the beach somewhere, you're still gonna have to work. Like you have, and this is a work. Oh my God, it's a card of positive work. This is, you're going to find fulfillment. You're not just winning the lottery and never picking up a pen or pencil again, or never opening a computer. Like you've got a journey ahead of you, but it will be fulfilling. It will be satisfying, and you will want to perfect it. This is, to me, this is very much like you perfecting something, you getting your hands dirty, there's definitely a message here of work. Like your mind is going to be challenged. You're going to be subliminally happy, but it's a new adventure. This is so totally like a new adventure card here, or energy. So I love this reading. I don't love every reading I do. Some of them leave me with a heavy weight. Some of them I feel like I missed the mark, but like this to me is it's very cool. It's very exciting. And you know, the whole point being like, are you anxious? Are you having trouble sleeping? I hope this helped. I hope this at least opened one door of thought for you and like helped you figure out a little bit about what you can do to make your life even more wonderful. Okay, I'll end it here. I'll ask you again to subscribe, like, comment, do whatever feels good. I would love to hear from you, and I really hope you allow me to read for you again. I do a reading every other day, so thank you so much. Goodbye.